Hey, evening. Yeah, the goal is for this session, we already pre-cut this, is to make a super long spoon. Yeah, the only thing I'm kind of concerned about is my tea getting cold since I'm outside. The last long spoon I made broke because, long story short, I had accidentally broken it. So I'm gonna keep the handle a bit fat this time around. We'll see. Tea overflowing because of rain. I've got it in this tea jug thing with the I've got like a roof on my head, so it should be fine. Maybe I should scoop it out before. Yeah, it has its advantages and disadvantages, but pretty nice indeed. Would have been nice if I could have, if, Bella Box allowed the ability to run 2 cameras simultaneously. Then I could have something here to show what I'm actually doing. As well. I mean, I could do that. I mean, I could do this whole stream without the whole IRL kit to begin with. But I don't have that set up right now for this kind of a stream. And I wasn't in a mood to do the whole thing. Cool. Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell. I got this thin one. It's a D95 from, I forget the name of the Swiss brand. It's pretty good, but it's pretty expensive. But this has become my most used tool for subtracting material. Brace the block against something, yeah. I could do it on this table, but then, yeah, because it has sort of the holes for me to hold it. Maybe I'll use it once I'm done with the rough draft, if you will. I just don't want the wood to get wet, because it's not hardwood to begin with. I'm gonna fine tune it in daylight, but do the rough thing today. You can hear the church bells. I don't know if you can hear it on the stream, but I can hear it here. can hear them, yeah. I want to get some sort of a, darker wood, or rather hardwood, like cherry or apple. But the notion that I have to pay to get wood to carve something is, I don't know, it seems a bit bizarre. Um, Maybe I can get it for cheap somewhere. It's like, one of those things like buying firewood or buying toilet paper. Yeah, buying toilet paper is such a bizarre thing, but we all do it. Scrap what other pieces you need. Yeah. But I need to search for the cherry wood be nice. I got this at the Groningen City Park after a storm. I was watching a video from this YouTube channel called Townsend's. It's scrambled eggs from 1775. Quintessential American breakfast. It has all the components I like, which is a quarter pound of butter and eggs and salt and interestingly nutmeg. Butter and salt makes most food good. Yeah. I mean, you don't even need any other seasoning per se. That combo it just rounds up the whole dish. Do I keep my tools super sharp? Not really. I mean, I try to sharpen them like as soon as I kind of feel more resistance. But yeah, I don't think I'm taking good care of them. I just need to set up a protocol so that I actually do that. Otherwise, I never do it. But yeah, like, I don't know, once a month or so, I just sharpen all the knives I have. But I need to look up how to sharpen the ones with the hook. I mean, I only have one hook knife. Or mostly dangerously sharp. I mean, blunt knives are more dangerous than sharp ones now. Yeah, mine are not dull, but they're not at the sharpness they need to be. But I have like a spare standard whittling knife that I got at Decathlon, which I use. Yeah, which I I pretty much beat it with a hammer to cut the branches into half because I don't have a hatchet. So in a way, I have a subpar tool for the stuff you're not supposed to be doing with that tool, and a better tool. Gonna see if there's any good podcast out. Come on, why are you not loading? Okay, I guess we'll just continue listening to the book. Let's see. Okay.
Are picked nines. They end up with handfuls of useless cardboard. They bet win, they bet place, they bet show. But there's only one bet, and that bet is to win. It takes the pressure off. Simplicity is always the secret to a profound truth, to doing things, to painting. Life is profound in its simplicity. I think that the racetrack keeps me aware of this. But in another sense, the racetrack is a sickness, a fill-in, a cop-out, a substitute for something else that should be faced. Yet we all need to escape. The hours are long and must be filled somehow until our death. And there's just not enough glory and excitement to go around. Things quickly get drab and deadly. We awaken in the morning, kick our feet out from under the sheets, place them on the floor, and think, shit, what now? At times I'd get sick with the need for the racetrack. I'd play the thoroughbreds during the day, and then at night I'd find myself playing the quarter horses or the harness races, depending on what was available. And there in the evening I'd see some of the same people that I saw during the day. They were betting at night too, the ultimate sickness. So I went back to the racetrack and forgot all about the movie and the actors and the crew and the cutting room. The track kept my life simple, although maybe stupid is a better word for it. At night I usually watched a bit of TV with Sarah, then went upstairs and played with the poem. The poem was what kept the mind from cracking. The poem was what I needed, really needed. I was back into this routine for 2 or 3 weeks when the good old phone rang. It was John Pinchot. "Your film is finished. We're going to have a private screening at Firepower. No press, no critics. I hope you can be there." "Sure, tell me the time and place." I wrote it down. It was a Friday night. I well knew my way to the Firepower building. Sarah was smoking and musing about something. As I drove along, I began having some thoughts too. I remember something John Pinchot had told me. Long before he found anybody to produce the screenplay, he went all around town each night scouting the bars, looking for just the right bar, for the right bar flies. He gave himself a name, Bobby. And he went from bar to bar night after night. He said he almost became alcoholic. And in all those bars, he said, he never met a woman he'd care to go home with. Sometimes he took a night off and came over to our place with all those photos of the bars he visited and put them on the coffee table before me. I'd choose the best ones and he'd say, "Yes, I will concentrate on these." He always had faith that the screenplay would become a movie. The screening room was not at Firepower, but in a lot behind it. We drove up. There was a guard there. "Firepower screening of The Dance of Jim Beam," I told him. "Go on in, take a right," he said. There, we were big shots. I drove on in, took a right, parked. It was a lot full of private studios. I had no idea why Firepower didn't have their own screening room. The building was huge, but they probably had a damn good reason why they did what they did. We got out and began looking for the screening room. There were no signs. We seemed to be the only ones about. Yet we were on time. We walked on, and I saw a couple of slim movie studio types leaning against a half-open door. Everybody in the business looked nearly the same. I mean, the crews, consultants, so forth. They were all between 26 and 38 years old and were slim and were always talking to each other about something interesting. "Pardon me," I asked, "but is this the screening room for The Dance of Jim Beam?" They both stopped and stared at us as if we had interrupted something important, and one of them spoke. "No," he said. I don't know what will happen to those fellas after they reach 39. Maybe that's what they were talking about. We walked on looking for the screening room. Then, standing near an automobile with the motor running, was somebody familiar. It was John Pinchot standing with the co-producer Lance Edwards. "John, for Christ's sake, where's the screening room?" "Yeah," said Sarah, "where?" "Ah," said John, "they moved the location. I tried to phone you, but you had already left." "Well, where is it, baby?" "Yeah, baby," said Sarah. "I was looking for you. Listen, Lance Edwards is driving over there now. All right if we ride with you, Lance?" Lance nodded as if he was pissed off. I thought that we were the ones who should have been pissed off. In Hollywood, those things sometimes get mixed up. John got in front with Lance, and Sarah and I got into the back. They claimed Lance was bashful, and that's why he wouldn't talk. I had the feeling that he just didn't give a fuck. One of the TV interviewers, a woman from Italy, who told me, I used to work for that son of a bitch. I never met such a cheap bastard. He doesn't pay anything. He doesn't even use his own stationery. He uses envelopes that people have mailed to him. He'd have me cross out the names and addresses and write new names in, and we'd mail the same envelope out again. He'd rip off stamps that weren't cancelled on incoming mail and use them again. One day I was working and I felt his hand on my leg. Did you lose something? I asked him. What do you mean? He asked. I mean, did you lose something there on my leg? What are you looking for? If you didn't lose something, then take your hand off of my fucking leg. He fired me without severance pay. The car kept driving on. It seemed like a very long drive. Hey, Lance, I said, you gonna drive us back to our car? He nodded as if he were pissed off. Of course he was pissed off. Gas expense. We finally got there, got out, and went into the screening room. It was full. Everybody was there. They looked comfortable.
So yeah, those color lights at the top of your screen in the distance. Those colored LEDs. Which... No, I'm not a huge fan of those blinky LED stuff. But which ones do you mean? Something here or something here? Or something inside? Don't have any LEDs on me. Neighbors, probably. Ah, yeah, maybe. But I don't see any. Don't know. Yeah, I've never really liked, which is like it's a huge thing now. Like if you look at any of the tech YouTube space or whatever, there's always a neon something or a glowy something. I don't know, not a huge fan of that. House next door. Oh yeah, I see it now. I think a bunch of university kids live there. They're probably having some sort of a light show.
Many of them were holding golden cans of beer. Son of a bitch, I said loudly. What is it? Asked John. All these people have beer. We have nothing to drink. Wait, wait, said John. He ran off. Poor John. Sarah and I were being treated like second-class citizens. But then again, what could you expect when the leading man made 750 times as much as the screenplay writer? The public never remembered who wrote the screenplay, just who fucked it up, or who made it work, either the director or the actors or whoever. Sarah and I were only slum dwellers. John made it back with 2 cans of beer for us just as the lights went out and the film came on, The Dance of Jim Beam. I took a gulp of beer in honor of the alcoholics of the world. And as the film began, I flashed back, as they do in the movies, to that morning in the bar when I was young, when I was feeling neither good nor bad, just rather numb, and the bartender said to me, "You know what, kid?" "No, what?" "We're going to put a gas pipe right through the bar here, right here where you sit all the time, and we're going to cap it." "A gas pipe?" "Yeah. And so when you feel like ending it all, you can uncap it and take a few whiffs and go." "I think that's damn nice of you, Jim," I said. Chapter 41. There it was. The film was rolling. I was being beaten up in the alley by the bartender. As I've explained before, I had small hands, which are a terrible disadvantage in a fist fight. This particular bartender had huge hands. To make matters worse, I took a punch very well, which allowed me to absorb much more punishment. I had some luck on my side. I didn't have much fear. The fights with the bartender were a way to pass the time. After all, you just couldn't sit on your bar stool all day and all night. And there wasn't much pain in the fight. The pain came the next morning, and it wasn't so bad if you had made it back to your room. And by fighting 2 or 3 times a week, I was getting better at it, or the bartender was getting worse. But that had been over 4 decades before. Now I was sitting in a Hollywood screening room. No need to recall the film here. Perhaps it's better to tell about a part left out. Later in the film, this lady wants to take care of me. She thinks I'm a genius and wants to shield me from the streets. In the film, I don't stay in the lady's house, but overnight. But in actual life, I stayed about...
An oil projector. What's an oil projector? Let me look it up. Oil projector. So how is this? Ah, I see. Yeah, this would be fun. I've been thinking of getting a laser beam projector just to, I don't know. I mean, I don't really watch stuff or whatever, but would be fun to watch a documentary or anime once in a while. Yeah, this would be pretty fun for like a meditation session with the Russian throat singing in the background. I've seen many sort of psychedelic uh, folk psychedelic rock bands actually have these projections uh, while they're playing music. Yeah, I've seen like the new. I was looking at Nebula by Anchor, 4K laser beam. Just let go of 2,500 euros and you have it. Oh my god. I might just end up getting some super old thing on a Japanese electronic website. Like a lava lamp. Yeah. Yeah, when I just googled, that's that's what popped up. Yeah, those are pretty cool. Yeah, I think like there's so many budget, quote unquote, budget options out there for like 50 to 100 bucks. But the issue with them is they get pretty hot. That's the reason, they've got fans blasting, and if they get the cheap fans blasting that, it's too noisy. To calculate the price of replacement bulbs with a 4K projector, probably. Yeah, I am. Yeah, I just looked at it to see. I'm not getting it. Like, I don't care about projecting 4K stuff onto the piece of cloth I have for the once in a 4 months thing I might watch. But the Dutch like their TVs, that's for sure. Every living room, yeah, is, yeah. And apparently, this is what one of my friends was telling me, that they like lots of cupboards in the kitchen. I mean, he's French, and when he was, I don't know, out and about looking for a place with his wife, he was like, the person was like, yeah, cupboards, cupboards, cupboards. Not just living rooms, even bedrooms, right? A bedroom has its own TV, of course. Maybe that's a thing of the past, but it's like, how much TV are you gonna watch? mean, you like what you like, but it's a bit funny to me that it's such a cultural thing. I mean, I would say most of the houses are centered around TVs for whatever reason. I can't even remember. Yeah, same thing. I have not owned a single TV. So, and I don't think I'll ever own a TV. But yeah. Yeah, I think I'm Dutch enough considering my inclination towards eating a kilo of mayo and a kilo of peanut butter. I don't I don't need the TV factor as well. Whoops. It's coming along. Pretty solid. It's gonna be rainy this whole week. At least in the north. That's gonna be a big one, yeah. We'll see. I'll use it for a bit, and if it's like proving to be difficult to use, I'll chop it down in length. But I think, yeah, you can like sit afar and mix things up. Yeah, especially if it's like open. What's the use case? I haven't thought about it. Uh, but yeah, use case could be this, like if for remote, yeah, pretty much. Like if you have like an open fire cooking setup, I don't know, during camping or whatever with other people, and yeah, you can sit afar and still stir the pot. But what are the chances of that happening? But yeah, at home, I guess, just for fun. I don't know. We'll see. I'll find a use case. some goulash in a big Hungarian kettle with tripod when I was in Hungary. That would be a use case with a spoon. Oh yeah, deep, deep pots. Yes. Yeah, I don't own, at least currently, I don't own anything which would, which is that deep. Yeah, this would like, I think the best use case would be like, when cooking in, as you mentioned, a deeper bowl kind of thing to stir it up. Was the kettle like made of clay, or was it just stainless steel or something? Not sure if like earthenware is all that popular in Europe, at least currently. It might be like a North African thing or an Afghani thing. Steel with ceramic. Okay. Yeah, I like the classic Dutch ceramic stuff with blue glazing, whatever. Those are pretty classy. Doesn't matter what kind of pattern you've got, just the sort of indigo-ish blue and the, yeah, off-white go well together. I really like my goulash somehow. uh, let me check if goulash is what I think it is, because maybe I'm thinking of something else, or maybe it is the thing I'm thinking of. Yeah, okay, it's the same thing. Classic European stuff. It's a stew, yeah, yeah. Kind of figured it was that. Yeah, I mean, I feel like most of them tend to have, it's kind of the same dish, but tend to have different names across. Yeah, I mean a stew is a classic. You got everything you need, especially for winters. Happy that you could make a campfire in the garden. Oh yeah. That's nice. I'll figure out. Maybe I can figure out a setup to do that as well. And go collect a bunch of wood from the parks to begin with. So something you can't do here in your current space. How come? I thought you had like a garden space at your current spot. Is that against the rules or something? I mean, like a proper, okay. Yeah. I'm gonna clean this before I do anything else. Cheers. It's my neighbor's cat. Bouncy. We're not even done halfway, and I mean we're kind of done halfway, but the rough thing is not done. We've got this one stuff. It's not as cold as I thought it was going to be outside. It's like 2 to 3 degrees. Doesn't feel like it actually. Yeah, it's 3. But it feels like 6. Doesn't feel like 3. Or maybe I've forgotten how 3 feels like. But I'm working hard. Yeah, maybe. Maybe it's just I don't know, but I'm also wearing like 3 layers of clothing, so yeah, I mean I think having a hat always helps to trap the heat. Get cold fast when active, but when inactive, I get cold. Yeah, I think it's most. I think it's the same for me. Um, but once I get cold, it takes me forever to warm up. So I have to be cautious about not getting too cold to begin with. Like one of the camping trips. I think it was like in February. I didn't have like a super warm system. I don't know why I didn't take it along with me, but I put every piece of clothing I owned, and I had, and the only way to sort of get through the whole audio was to focus on my breathing, and then I fell asleep, and then it wasn't such a big deal. Sitting behind the PC with several layers and insulated expert camp booties. Yeah, yeah. I I have kept the heater on, and I've decided to not think about the bill. Speaking of those camp booties, at some point I was looking at um, these sock shoe combinations. Basically, you can just wear the sock but walk, because they have like um, beneath the sock, they just have a more robust material, which is a little bit grippy um, for camp situations, so that I didn't have to take an extra pair of whatever. Um, but I wonder how they would do in wet conditions. Like if the campground is all like mucky, I don't think they'll survive. But at least in the marketing pictures, I saw people running through a forest. So who knows? Really, they're not really made for that. Yeah, I don't know, but they were basically marketed as alternative for shoes, really. So kind of like in the whole barefoot sphere of things. But I don't know. But they're bloody expensive, of course. They're like 80 euros or something. So, or maybe more than that. Ah, I just realized that I didn't change the title on the Twitch stream. I only did that on YouTube. Paid like 50. Yeah, I mean these expert camp booties no. Yeah, I mean of course they're not made for that. But would my yeah. Yeah, once I have like a longer resting period in between the streams, I kind of forget my sort of series of things I tend to do and end up skipping a few of them. Yeah, I'm thinking if I should make this one a shallow scoop or a deep scoop spoon, or rather a ladle. Pair of old original mug boots. They're nice and warm and very sturdy. Yeah, I don't have anything specific for walking in like muddy conditions. I have a pair of like a single shaft leather boots, but insulation is like 2 by 5. I just had to wear thick socks because it's just a single sheet of leather. They're all right. I mean, but I think at some point I'll get the Lundhags boots. What would be nice is to actually go to the store and get the right size rather than get them shipped. So, I don't know, maybe if I'm in Sweden in any time soon, maybe I'll go to the store. They're pretty expensive, but I don't know, we'll see. Mug boots are partly rubber and yeah. I always see older folks walking in them here post post-rain hiking escapades for them. Yeah, the tea is cold. At least the one in the jar is not too cold. Need a tea light. Yeah. It's materializing pretty quickly, yeah. Yeah. I think I'll stop once the rough cut is done. What's for dinner on your end? I'm gonna maybe stop in a bit because I also need to make dinner. Yeah, I'm trying to think of what kind of a scoop I want. It's currently like a boat, but maybe that's kind of fun. Hey, Mick. What is it I'm using here? I think I think it's beech or birch, because that's the one which is more prevalent here. But I'm not quite sure. It's a softwood though. Um, got it from the local park. Are you going to watch this Starship launch and catch later? 11. I don't know. I mean, I generally just tend to watch the highlights later. I never really watch them live. Um, Most likely not. Yeah, I basically just catch up on the highlights on Twitter or YouTube later, the next morning. No problem. Yeah, I was just mentioning at the start of the stream that I would really like to have cherry wood or apple tree wood, because obviously they're harder, but I really like that reddish tinge. Because this doesn't even pop after applying, I don't know, linseed oil or Danish oil or whatever. Got some nice reddish walnut end cheeks for a sequencer device recently. Oh yeah, that's a good look. Yeah, I'm a big fan of sort of the Danish, Scandinavian style of stuff where you mix metal with wood. I think that combination is great. I try to do that with my budget materials, which is plywood and whatever the hardware is made of. It could be brass or I mean, brass is still expensive, or just like stainless steel hardware. I really like that look as well. Plywood and some sort of a metal. Obviously, plywood end grain pops when you finish it with some sort of an oil, and that look is, yeah, I really like that look. Recently got some sheet metal to punch out something on it to create quote unquote a sculpture. It's not really a sculpture, but who am I to say that it's not a sculpture? Anything could be a sculpture if you think it is. But wood and music gear is a nice combo. Yeah. Where was I going with the story? Oh yeah, so I ended up getting aluminium sheet, a small aluminium sheet, and then I looked at the price of copper. I mean, like I don't know, like a 10 by 10 centimeter square copper sheet was like at least 5x, I think, the price of the aluminium sheet I got. I was like, what the hell? I hadn't quite realized that even copper sheet metal is so expensive. But yeah, I haven't finished that thing I made out of scrap wood, but I'll share once it's done. It didn't really turn out the way I wanted. It's not in par with the vision I had, but that's how it goes. Yeah, it's like I used to watch a bunch of people make guitars, and that's like a niche thing within the woodworking space. And of course, you always have the Japanese masters. Um, spend months and months on a single guitar. I don't have that kind of patience. But also, it's I don't. I'm not a professional, and I think I like making shitty functional stuff. That's my jam. Maybe you can use copper circuit board. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's a possibility. Yeah. Hadn't thought about that. Speaking of which, it's like I've got so many hardware projects that I've on the back burner. That there. Um, I had planned on doing them this winter, but winter is already here, so I don't know. I'll get to them. One after the other. Or, yeah, I mean, even simultaneous projects are pretty fun. I like to work on projects in parallel. but different kinds, not the same kind. More projects than winter. Yeah. But that's always how it is, or maybe that's how it should be. You should eat what, like, I don't know. This is getting too preachy now. But which I hate. Yeah, I hate preachy stuff, but maybe one should, have more projects than one can handle. Maybe that's the best case scenario. Never bored is a good thing, yeah. Totally agree. Which is one of the things I don't quite understand when people say that they're bored. What do you mean? A thing you're doing could be boring, but what they mean is a totally different thing. Same. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I think the rough cut is kinda done. It's because of TVs. Oh yeah, it's 100%. It's like I get so irritated when I see people sitting and watching TVs when it's daylight, not even at nighttime. Alright, I'm gonna stop now, otherwise I might end up removing too much material. Alright, one last working towards there is a spoon. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh no, where did the spoon go? Yeah, that's what would happen. It's happened before. Okay. I think it's taken a good shape. Um, kind of tapers. The neck area is kind of thinner than the holding area. Maybe that's a good thing. Trying to work out the lever mechanism here. Because if it's too thin, it'll be kind of hard to hold properly as well. Yeah, I shouldn't have made this. I should have kept some material here. But can't do anything about it now. Yeah, it's more like a boat scenario. The scoop, it's not a round thing. Shall be continued tomorrow. Oh, or whatever. I'll get to it, I suppose. Can roll with it probably. That's a bit of a stretch, but yeah. Last cup of tea as well. No, the orange one is the Decathlon Solognac hunting line. The other one, the green one I have is the more yeah, the orange one is kind of, it gets blunt super fast, and that's my spare one. I kind of abuse. It's super blunt now. But yeah, like Decathlon has some good stuff, especially their 4 claws, which is their, I think, premium within the Decathlon spectrum for hiking and trekking. And then they have the hunting line, and then they have the climbing line, which is Simond. The climbing line is pretty good actually. Does the job. Made in the same factories. Yeah, most likely. most most likely. Um, it's funny, like uh, I was looking at Narona's website. The Yeah, and they have all the specifications related to where the um, product is made, with how many employees and so on and so forth. I think companies are trying to be more transparent with that scenario. But yeah, I mean, I bought some Decathlon stuff. Most of them are okay, and most of like some of them are pretty good, but some of them are shit. But I guess that's with any brand. But yeah, I mean, you can't beat Decathlon's value for money. All right. Until next time. I'm gonna try to buy from Decathlon, but the website didn't let me make an account to keep up. Oh my god, I hate browsing their website. It's like the Bauhaus website. It just gives me a headache. I just go to the store because there was one nearby. Yeah, I don't bother. I don't bother doing anything on their website. Yeah. All right. See you next time.